Yo, recently I got a little bit sick and I was just in my room all day making beats, and because I was listening to fakemink a lot recently, I decided that I'm gonna make a beat kinda sounds like fakemink collabs with Suzy. I noticed that there's not a lot of tutorials on this genre, so I decided that I'm gonna make my own video, and this is it. This is how to make beats for fakemink like Suzy. And yeah, actually I started with this sound, this little vocal chop, vocal loop. Basically, it's just chopped vocal loop I made a while ago. So yeah, this is how it sounds without any effects. We have like some basic effects. RC20 with a preset from our upcoming Angelcore multi-kit expansion. Some EQ to cut those highs and then fresh air to boost them. You can try this. It sounds really interesting. Cool for like this sound. And then the portal you heard when I first played the loop. And yeah, that's basically it. After the vocal, I added this pluck melody. So yeah, it sounds like this, and basically I use the root notes of the bass in this beat, and I added these notes that play the same melody the vocal plays. And this is a preset from our Angelcore multi-kit that you can find on Skeleton Store, the first link in the description. And I haven't used anything for the effects for this melody, because there's already a lot of effects in Serum and I feel I didn't need to add anything more. So yeah, this is how the two main melodies sound together. And the next thing I did was this bass. So really sounds like a bass from Suzy beat. And yeah, it's actually very simple. It's only two oscillators, sub oscillator and oscillator A, playing this saw, triangle wave, whatever. And we have an LFO that looks like this and it modulates the filter. Last thing I added for the chorus before we go into drums is this lead, just like a background element, counter melody or whatever. And this lead also comes from our Angelcore multi-kit from Skeleton Store. So really it turns out this kit is good not only for Angelcore. And yeah, for this lead I also added Shaperbox 3 with a preset I made some time ago. And yeah, this is how it sounds without the shaper box. So like just a boring lead, nothing happens here. So really the shaper box adds the character to this lead and makes it interesting. So yeah, also quickly before we go into drums, I wanna cover the last melody I made for this beat. It only plays on the verses and it sounds like this. It reminds me of Easter Pink, and that's why I used it. And it's just this Italo 2020 ARP from Analog Lab with a little bit of decimort, some EQing to make it more lo-fi, and an LA to A emulation. So yeah, those were all the melodies I made for this beat. This is how they sound. There's no like leading melody and they are just all kinda in the background and they work good together, but they don't particularly work good on their own. It's just like a harmony of those sounds. And yeah, let's focus on the drums now. I just went for the basic 4 on the floor pattern with a kick that sounds like this. So like a lo-fi, just subby kick, and yeah, it works good with this bass because you can't hear too much of the kick, but you can feel it. And I also sidechained it to all the melodic elements, so it kinda gives a nice bounce to the beat. And I paired that kick with this clap. So also a lo-fi clap with a long tail and works good for this genre. Suzy Shear often uses snares instead of claps, but I went for the clap just because I was kinda inspired by Easter Pink by fakemink and there's a clap used there. Hi-hats are really simple, just a basic hi-hat pattern playing off beat. And the cool thing about this drum loop is this rides part that sounds like this. So this really gives the beat this nice vibe. You can also try adding like some closed hi-hats, playing a little faster rhythm, like 16 notes or 8 notes, and it's gonna work good too for this genre. I just went for the rides because it fits this beat better. And yeah, the last thing I did for the drums is this little accent snare that sounds like this. And that's basically all. I added some crashes and effects here and there, and the bit is finished. I don't mix my drums too much just because I use high quality drums from Skeleton Store, and I know that they are pre-mixed and they sound just as they should, so I don't have to do too much. The only thing I do for my drums is usually just, I don't know, stereo enhancing the rides or hi-hats, or using transient processor to boost or subtract transient from the sounds, just like I did for the snare, and you could hear that it's kind of like in the back and it doesn't have too much transient. I also used Valhalla for my reverb send, and I sent basically everything to this reverb, just with a different levels, as you can see. And yeah, the cool part is mastering. You can kinda hear this cool lo-fi tapey effect. That's because I used this plugin from T-Rex, and it's basically tape machine emulation, and I kinda cranked up the input here to give it this tape warmth. And then we have just a basic soft clipper to make sure that nothing is clipping. And yeah, that's it. The beat is pretty simple. The main things you wanna remember is the melody. You don't need like one big element, you can just add few softer, subtle elements that will work good together and create this vibe. You can say that this beat doesn't have a unique vibe to it. Okay, so this was how to make beats for fakemink like Suzy Shear, and now we're gonna listen to the full beat. If you wanna get all the sounds I used for this beat, just click the first link in the description and go to Skeleton Store. I used Angel Core Multi-Kit and Crystal Castle's Ultimate Kit for this beat, and all the sounds are there. Oh, and also we are gonna run a Black Friday sale next week, so get ready. And yeah, now without any further ado, let's just listen to the full beat.